Hey Marco. So, this is the first stream for the Audi. So, no Sierra anymore. I need to close the window, otherwise you're not gonna hear anything but traffic noise. So, first wheels. So, I obviously don't have the wheels that we're gonna use. I have maybe a close approximation of it. So, as with the charger, we're gonna, use a rim or wheel that's as close to what we're gonna have, and then we're gonna order stuff. I think this is the closest or the wheel that we're gonna use. I think. Hey, thanks. So we'll see. The wheel itself is not that important. What is important, actually, yeah, what's important actually is what we're gonna do here. Let me find another one of these. Which one is it? Today we are going to start working on the Audi Quattro. Or is it this rim? Is it this rim? They're kind of the same, right? Yeah. Probably doesn't matter which one we use. This one is, I guess this one is newer because this one is from the charger. So we're gonna use this one. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. So, the Quattro is going to be rather smaller than we are used to. It's gonna be a model that's gonna be in a 1 to 10 scale. So the width of the front suspension is gonna be a lot smaller, and I think it's gonna be the max width. So from the outer edge of the wheel here to the other edge of the wheel can be a maximum of 23 studs. This is not a lot. So let's make ourselves a template with a 23 studs template in which this needs to fit into, approximately, of course, give or take a millimeter or two, to see what we have to work with. A few pins sprinkled here and there. So 23 studs. This is 15 studs, and we need 8 studs more. Okay. Okay. We are going to use like this here. These are going to be fine. So the real challenge here with the Audi, as we discussed on Discord, is really gonna be the front suspension and the front wheel hubs. This is the most crucial part of the entire build. If we manage to somehow do this correctly, then we have a fighting chance. If we don't, then all other discussions about gearboxes and stuff is irrelevant, basically. Then we're gonna probably have to change our approach or whatever. So okay, 15, and this is a 9er, right? No, this is a 7, so exactly here. This should be 23 studs. We're gonna count them, of course. So 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. 8. Okay. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. What? What? Where's this discrepancy? 23 studs. Okay. I have to take advice from a friend, another streamer. Never do math on stream. This sucks. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah. God damn it. 1 is missing. Missing 1 stud. Okay. 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 So this is, according to my calculations, this is the maximum track we can have. This is the whole width. It's gonna get, it looks like a lot, but it's actually not. It's gonna get a lot narrower because we have to have a wheel hub on each side, which is gonna reduce the width already. Then potentially a differential, which we already know that it's not possible to fit in this manner. Interesting. I'll yeah. I think it's hard to judge without the wheels, but I think that's the width that we have to do. 23 studs. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 3. 23. Yeah. Of course, you know, there's gonna be tires and stuff, so it's gonna come in a little bit, and you know, all of this. So the crucial part here is first to get the layout, and then we have to determine what we're gonna do, what type of suspension, and the most crucial part is the lower ball joints. The lower ball joints are the parts that are gonna make or break this. And let's explore why this is so. Where did I put the wheel hubs? Where did I put them? Oh, here they are. Okay. And I don't think I have another one of the. Or do I? No. I don't think so. Because I used all of them in the Sierra, I think. Yeah. Yeah. So. Let me demonstrate the problem. So, you see, I've put wheel hubs in, and already we have a lot less width here. Now, I could be mistaken, but my calculations show that it should be 23 studs from wheel to wheel. So that's the maximum width of the entire car. Hey, VW Beetle fan. And from here on, you know, we could have a differential here, theoretically. I mean, I somehow think that because here there should be room, but from me being able to do that, and I remember Ben made calculations that we can't do that because there is no room for this, which is either Ben is wrong or I am wrong. I don't know. We are going to Google the exact spec one more time, because obviously Dropbox didn't synchronize the stuff from the other computer to this one, and I'm without my data sheet. So one of the reasons what I'm doing right now is not a very good idea is that we come on open. So first thing that we notice, we have a half a stud problem here. See, it's a half a stud problem again, of course. So if we want to use a differential here, we need to make this housing half a stud narrower. Because remember, we are doing this for the Buiz competition, and no modified Lego is allowed. So because no modified Lego is allowed, we are not allowed to cut this. We're not allowed to modify anything else. We're not allowed to use custom differential housing, which I would normally use. But this is it. So you see, it's already too wide for a differential. So we were thinking, basically Ben was thinking, and we came up with the solution for having the well, not differential, but yeah, well, differential, yeah, longitudinally, not like this. But for this, we have to cancel those CV joints and replace the whole middle with something else. So we can't use this. What can we use? So obviously the Lego community a while ago, so this is not something that we came up with just yesterday. It's been used on cars before, using these guys here and having axles go through them with gears, of course, and the differential being on either side of this longitudinally. That's one idea. So me being me, of course, since we are gonna use 6 stud steering links here, so the half axles also have to be 6 studs long. Otherwise, we're gonna get a bunch of problems that we don't really want. So let me get some 6 stud links for us to work with. Okay. So for now, we are not concerned with how we are going to do the suspension yet, although this is part of this stream today. We are just setting up, you know, this how should we call it? Suspension bridge, let's say. Yeah, suspension bridge would be the right name for it. Hey Ben. So there is Ben. Ben was very eager to start this. He experimented with this for a while now, while we were still finishing the Sierra. Okay. So what I'm doing here is I'm making myself some rigs, or how should we call them, helpers, with which I can potentially to which I can potentially attach other stuff, because now we are experimenting. Okay. So let's make it like this. It's gonna be a whole lot easier. Okay. So Ben, good that you're here. So remind me if I'm correct. So the track needs to be 23 studs wide, right? I hope I have calculated this correctly. something like this. You know, it's just a help to help us visualize and keep things in position. You know, because now we have to, yeah, 23. Okay, so that's then I'm correct. I didn't botch it up. Okay, good. So 6 studs. So including this, it needs to be 6 studs. So it's here. The pivot point needs to be here, which is very good. This is very good. Very good. Excellent. Okay. I'm going to make a template. Yeah. Okay, like this. Very simple, very basic. Just so we can visualize where everything is supposed to be. Come on. Yeah, okay. I mean, the track doesn't interest me. The track is absolutely uninteresting. Basically, what I'm interested in is the whole width of the car, since the wheels are gonna be as far out as possible. In order, you know, to maximize the space that we have available. So obviously, I'm just using exaggerated things here. None of this is gonna be like this in the end version, but you know, you have to start somewhere. Um, yeah, you probably use different wheels. Um, are the wheels that you have used larger in diameter? Because I don't even know which tires fit on those. These are from the Dom's Charger model, so from our very recent model. So this should fit some wheels, I guess. Some tires. Okay. Yeah, and you can see that with this setup, I think this is 6 studs. Yep. The wheels even, you know, the wheels are even a little bit indented. So we're not gonna use the entire width because this is the maximum we can use, but we are not using the entire width for the rims, so it goes a little bit inside. with me. So this would be basically this would be the half shaft setup, and I must say I kind of like it. Rims are what's the width of the rims? So 3.3 studs is the width of the rims that you have used, or that we are gonna have on the car. So yeah, that's correct. 3.5 studs is correct for these. So we can absolutely work with those as stand-ins, of course. These are just, now for our jig, I need to order the correct ones. But, for what we are gonna do, they will have to do. So, what to do next? Now we know that this this come on, this length, of course, from the center of the CV joint to this here is 6 studs. So when these would be connected, there would be no tension or whatever to this. Now, everybody who watches my videos knows that that's all well and good, but we want suspension geometry, not just zero geometry stuff like this. So obviously, if we would be employed by Lego company, we would have the steering axle go just vertically directly through the hub. It's easy to do. But of course, me being me, I can't have that for several reasons. First of all, if you want a car like this to be controllable, because this is gonna be what? No, why steering rack? The steering rack is not gonna be here. Steering rack is gonna be way up. It's gonna be on the firewall. It's steering rack is absolutely unimportant here. Okay, I understand this, but the CV doesn't really have to slide in and out. Plus, we have more distance here, which is going to allow us to use this differential, because we need to use this differential if we want this car to be heavy duty, and we do. Absolutely, we do need to use this differential, and we're going to use, of course, I think these gears should fit. Oh no, they don't fit. We'll think of something. In the worst case, we can have the differential in the middle, or something. So I prefer them to be here, because we then can use the big differential, which gives us a whole lot of new options. But that's not really important right now, because all of this is not important right now. Right now, the important part is here. So we can now put this aside. This is irrelevant right now. Yeah, I mean, see, that's the second problem that we gonna encounter. So, as I said in previous streams, the problem with Lego CV joints, and sadly we have to use the worst one of them all, is the poor steering angles. We're we are going to kind of maximize what is available to us here. I do think that the Land Rover, they changed something. It's a little more than I'm used to. I don't know, something different. So uh, our goal here is, that we will not have a steering axis that is vertical. We want it something like this, so that the contact patch of the steering axis is gonna be somewhere here. So on the ground, it's gonna be inside of the rim. That's very important if you want a controllable car. And of course, we're gonna have caster and all that stuff that we do here, because I've seen videos as late as I think it was Serial, who tested the Buick motors in one of his vehicles. That vehicle was so uncontrollable. As soon as it gained speed, he just couldn't control it. Why? Because he had absolutely no geometry in the front. The car went wherever it wanted. With our approach, when the speed increases, the stability of the car increases. So at slow speeds, you might not notice the effects of camber, caster, all of that. But as the speeds go higher, these effects become very noticeable. And at the same time, of course, if you want to reduce forces on the whole suspension, the the steering pivot, as I always mention, steering pivot needs to be as far out as we can make it. So we cannot move it a lot out, but we can make sure that the contact patch on the ground is here. So what do you mean? What has happened to Soriel? Nothing has happened to Soriel. She's fine as far as I know. I'm just talking about a car, a model car that he made for testing Buick motors. That, I mean, he had an onboard video from it and stuff, and the car was just the faster it went, the less he was able to control it, because he had absolutely no geometry on the suspension. So we can't have that, because the car, when it gets fast, it has to be, the faster it goes, the more stable it has to be in the straight line. So we have to have suspension geometry. He hasn't, but he just made a video for the Buick motors. So I don't understand what you mean. Maybe he hasn't uploaded a new Lego model in a while, because there hasn't been anything that he hasn't tested yet. So anything interesting, you know. Anyway, back to the subject matter. Okay. Back to the subject matter. Yeah, exactly. We need to find a way to shift the lower ball joint outwards. Oh, he does. Okay. I mean, I'm not gonna wear them, but whatever. How to do that? I mean, the only way we can achieve this realistically is making a multi-link suspension. You see, with the regular hubs, I don't think we can do that. We with the regular hubs, we don't have the space as we had in the Sierra to make a McPherson suspension or stuff like that. So the best option that we can have here is what I initially envisioned for the Land Rover suspension. So basically, multi-link lower part, and then an elevated double wishbone suspension on top, which is also gonna be multi-link, of course. How we gonna do this? I don't know yet. It's of course a big challenge. And it all starts here. So obviously we're gonna, since the steering link is gonna attach to this somewhere here. Okay, it's gonna be, since it's an elevated double wishbone, the steering link and the upper wishbones, so the upper links, are gonna be somewhere in this general area, so above the tire. And the steering rack is gonna be above the whole gearbox. Well, thing is, Ben, that if we don't use these wheel hubs with the regular wheel hubs, I have absolutely no idea how to then mount a multilink here, because here we have space. We have the space to put something here. Preferably something like this, because I have, believe me, I have thought long and hard about these things here. And there's a few options that we have here. If they are gonna work, I don't know. I need to try them. I have not tried them yet, but there's options. With the other hubs, we are very limited. Very limited. Because with the other hubs, you have to do what you did, and I don't like what you did. Nothing against you, but it's just wrong. Because you see, with the other hubs, we don't have the option, the option that I'm gonna use here. Okay. I put it in reverse. Oh, and Lego strikes again. So I didn't anticipate this, of course. I thought, you know, with this, I can put something here. Turns out, I can't. You know, but still, we need to be patient. So, you see, the thing is that we want the multi-link to attach in here, underneath the ball joint. The versions that I saw from you all required a connector going outwards and having the suspension attached here. So one stud further out. One stud further out. I don't like this for several reasons. It's not stable. I tried those things. And the problem is that then we have very little ground clearance. You basically limit the ground clearance quite severely. Let me demonstrate. I don't think I have the wheel hub. For example, I'm going to see if I have one of those wheel hubs. So, for example, the tire, you have to keep in mind the tire is not going to be very big. The tire is going to be pretty small. Maybe it's going to be maybe one stud, 1.5 studs, something like that. So you see, this thing is then very close to the ground. It doesn't matter what we do here further, how we place the steering links, either here or here. It doesn't really matter. This is too close to the ground. And I don't want this. This is way too close for the ground for the wheel size. Or not just too close to the ground. It's since it's as close as this, but it's further away from the wheel. So I can tolerate this part here. So this thing here, but with this we extend it further away, and the further away we extend it, like we did here, the further apart do these two need to be in order to achieve our uh, steering angle that we need. First of all, don't I make an SUV for the viewers, man? There are several reasons. First, I absolutely hate SUVs. You will not see me make an SUV. Second of all, it's making an SUV is not a challenge at all. Why would I make an SUV? SUVs are easy. This isn't, and it's exactly because this isn't easy that's it's interesting. And me and Ben having these discussions, it's not that we are fighting or whatever. Sometimes when you have to do these things, and there's so many options, so many different philosophies, you just have to debate them and exchange opinions. So the problem that I see here is the tire, because this is gonna rub on the tire. So ideally, I would like to have this steering link here. Oh, a steering link, suspension link here. So it would be basically, well, it would be parallel to this here, but it would be far away from the ground. And it would kind of create the virtual pivot point here. Of course, we have to make the other one, which I think we should make somewhere here. And this one should be somewhere here. Yeah, that's also one possibility. Same height as drive shaft is also one possibility. So, but the same height as drive shaft has problems. It has the problems. I mean, same height as drive shaft we can do in the front. If we, for example, made connected the one link here and one link here, what this would create is a movement that would basically, I think, the drive shaft would do this. Plus, we would be very limited on how we can angle them and still make the suspension, the steering work. And I don't think this would work. I don't think this would work. But with this here, we have a chance. So we would place one link here underneath it somehow. I know this is kind of problematic because of the gears. So we would place it here, I guess, in this plane, either like this or like this, probably like this. Probably like this. Then I apologize because I probably missed the picture, or I just glanced over it. No. You cannot. The upper links are not important. The lower the closer the link is to the center of the wheel, the more force it takes. So obviously that's the lower links. The lower links are basically the ones that take all the forces. So this is important. The upper links can be whatever, doesn't matter. You know, in the Sierra, the spring, so the strut is basically bending a little bit. Doesn't matter, because the what's important is the lower control arm, so the lower A arm. One, if the lower A arm is fixed, no problem. You know, here if we wanted a lower control arm, we would have a single lower control arm. We would have to move the pivot here to here somewhere, but we can't because there's absolutely no room for come on. There's no room for a pivot. So we have to move. We have to make something with the with these. Yeah, and ideally, ideally we would have it here. This would be able to avoid the gears somewhere here. Let's experiment a little bit with a few things. I think I have not tried this myself yet. Yeah, I understand what you mean, but thing is, we need to make something that actually works. Yeah, I see what you did here, but no. So, you see, we have the link here, or we can move it half a stud further back. We have the luxury to do that, like this. And then, of course, make a connection here up. So it's, you know, as far away from this as possible. And here in the front one can be, of course, longer, and it can be higher up. So the front would be higher up, which would basically create already a the pivot would be, you know, different. And if we do this higher up, we could. I mean, I'm just experimenting here. There's nothing that that has to be taken seriously here. No, that's too low. We need it higher up. We need it here. Wait. Do these? Yes, they do. They do. and keep in mind at this point I'm not thinking about springs yet. Springs are very important and we need to consider them, but right now I'm just about the geometry. I think this part here is going to be replaced with something else that's going to provide the springy action, but right now I'm not interested in that. Wait for it, wait. So obviously we need this guy to be here. Otherwise we can't connect all of this together. Okay, how do we, with this guy here, how do we prevent this guy from moving left or right? There has to be something that has a you know bar stuff like here. No, torsion bars are allowed. You're just not allowed to modify bricks. So in this case here, I would basically I would cut this to a 2-stud, place it in here, and put a connector in here. I can't. So I have to think of a way of me having this here, so it prevents this from pivoting, and having this connection here, because obviously we need this to do our elevated double wishbone part here. And these would be, for example, our 2 connections. Of course, we could move this one even further out, but then we don't have the connection here. Yeah, sure. Kara has two L bars, but Lego doesn't. So this doesn't help me at all. Obviously, we can make a connection here, going from the front here and then connecting to this. Yes. And here, let's see what our options are here. Yeah, we could do that. So this is just an example. I'm not recreating a specific or correct geometry yet. I'm just throwing ideas at this and see what sticks. And then, of course, we are going to make a mount for all of this, so that we have we can mount all 4 points and then test configurations. As I said to people on Discord, what we're doing here is gonna take probably 3 or 4 streams to get the front suspension right, because that's the most important part. The front suspension is gonna take most of the beating, and it has to be right. And this is really something that we are going to over-engineer a lot. So, for example, we have an elevated wishbone part. I don't know how high this needs to be. Maybe it can be even higher. I'm just using this. Yeah, I know, Jim. I need to fix the bar to the gray axle somehow, or I don't have to. See this? Come on. Okay. Yeah. So. Not moving anymore. This would be a solution. And then, of course, the idea is that the steering is mounted on top of this, of course. And, the steering links then are mounted to the firewall. Yeah, I probably should use more colors. Yeah. Thing is, this guy here can be here, or it can be one stud further to the front, but it cannot be one stud further to this side, because I have no way of mounting it here otherwise. Even this is sketchy. Um, okay. So I don't know. I'm going to throw a few parts at it, and probably we need to now make a test rig here, to which we can then, uh, attach all of these things and test our geometry. So let's do that. Test rig time. And keep in mind, we need, of course, to mount all four links. All four links need to be mounted, otherwise it's irrelevant. And of course, we need to mount this as well. This is very important. So we need to make a special test rig. I'm basically gonna appropriate this here. There. Because what we want to test is when, what Ben implied is that since this thing here is connected directly to this, we need to make sure that only this movement happens and this. If this part here is trying to move funnily, we can tolerate some barely visible movement, okay, like this, because there's enough slack in here. Anything more, we're gonna get serious binding here, which is gonna cost us power and potentially, it's gonna eat into the part and destroy it. We don't want that. So we need to consider that. Okay. Also, since we are already considering all of this, we need to see. Okay. So this is gonna be a half a stud affair, I see. Okay. Half a stud affair. Okay. So we already know that we need to make a mounting point for this half a stud away from this. Interesting. And probably the way I see it here, this guy, no, it can be like this. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter because the multi-link suspension, the axis of rotation is from one ball joint to the other, so it doesn't matter if this one is here. What does matter, however, is then the upper part. Okay, but this is not the immediate concern. Okay, so half a stud mount here in the same plane, but half a stud. How do we make half a stud mount? Okay. Okay, like this. For now. Okay. Need to somehow fix it. Yeah, of course. Before we even make something concrete out of anything, it's the half a stud problem. I mean, a classic. Okay. Now this one, I'm not gonna concern myself with the way, with how the drivetrain needs to be. First, we need to do the geometry, and then, if the geometry is fine, we are gonna adjust the drivetrain accordingly. Also, the way we have attached this to the body, this is just temporary. I don't know how things here will develop, but I'm just exploring the options here and see, you know, what works, if anything works. Mm. Mm. Come on. This one can be here. I think it can be here. Mhm. So, okay, already, you know, this isn't good because we get bump steer while we are going up and down. So something's not good. Obviously, we want this thing here to be in the same plane as this. So we're gonna change plans a little bit. Probably gonna use the same length up and down on the same on the same half a stud offset, but that's fine. So we have to make a half a stud offset about here, and here it has to be, you will not believe it, a double half a stud. So we need to be half a stud outward and half a stud so basically half a stud from the lift arm and half a stud between, so basically between the studs of the lift arm has to be the mounting point. Okay, great. No. So we need basically half a stud offset, but half a stud this way. I mean, I'm not looking at a permanent solution. I'm just looking at something that I can quickly mock up, because we are probably, well, most likely gonna change stuff here dramatically over the course of the development of this. So this is not gonna be permanent. Whatever I do now, it's gonna be changed by the next stream, probably. Okay. Okay, that's too long. Okay. That's too long. Okay, so it needs to be just this. There we go. So this already works pretty well. Now let's see what happens if we try to steer. Yeah, it's not so good. This is not so good. This way, it's not acceptable, and this way it just doesn't want to steer. See, it wants some movement here. Mhm. Let me see, it's projecting the steering link, steering axis there. Mhm. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what's gonna happen with it. It's gonna be interesting, but it's the first few streams, where we have to deal with the suspension like this, are gonna be full of birthing problems. So basically, I like this because it actually is pretty strong. The problem is steering. For the rear suspension, this would be fine, because in the rear we want actually some passive steering, which we are going to introduce, and the movements are going to be very small. So the very small movements that I can achieve here without really interfering with this are acceptable. But for the steering, for the actual steering, that's not okay. So Thing is that ideally we would have both steering links here. So one next to each other, and here steering links, lower suspension arm links, and that would be perfect. Sadly, we can't, because this wheel hub is useless, but it's still more useful than any other Lego wheel hub. So we have to think out of the box. How do I get two of those there? Yeah, that's what that's what we are not going to do, because that's boring. We have a Sierra there, which is basically, or a Charger there, which are basically that. So we're not going to do that. The challenge is to do this, and of course we need braking on the front axle. So the 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 um, the 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 motor is also going to provide braking force to the front suspension. That's the idea here. That's why I chose the Quattro, because it's all-wheel drive and we can have brakes. Well, engine brakes, but still brakes. Otherwise, there's no room for this. Yeah. So here in the front we are very limited, because we cannot put this closer. The rear joint is pretty much in the perfect position. If only this guy could be there. The next best thing that we could do is, if they both would be here, but if they could be just next to each other. Yeah, sadly a single lower arm is out of the question, because then we cannot have the kingpin axis like this. The kingpin needs to go through this here, in order to provide the proper steering. If we do just a single lower arm, then we also then put strain on the ball joint here. So this is not gonna work. So okay, let's put this on the side for now. So one other option would be, of course, to have both ball joints be here, so exactly underneath the pivot, and we would have a geometry where the rear one was the longer one, and this one was the shorter one. What would this mean is that the angles, of course, would be different, and we could move the virtual pivot point half a step forward, maybe, or maybe just enough forward that it would work. Unfortunately, we don't have room for this, but I'm gonna use the connector here and butcher something here, just in order for me to test the theory, if it works at all. If it doesn't work at all, well, we just abandon it. This is not something I would ever build into the car, but for testing purposes, it's gonna be fine. Just to get this idea out of my system. Okay, so this idea is not gonna work because see, this ball joint is, come on, focus. Please, focus. See, this ball joint is already making contact with the hub, and oh, camera, please focus. The background is not important. Yeah. So we can see clearly here that this isn't gonna work, unfortunately. Unfortunately, this isn't gonna work, no matter what. Would be nice, you know, would be nice. Or wait, where is it? Yeah, barely. Yeah, maybe if we force it a little bit. I mean, nobody said nothing about illegal building techniques. Just no modifying parts. So okay, okay, we're still in the game. We're still in the game. Come on, okay, right. I can just use this for now to stabilize it a little bit. Here. Huh? Okay, this is already a problem. Okay, so we cannot have this here. So no, where are you? Okay. Ah, of course. Needs to be one stud further away. Okay. Come on. Okay. Okay. This part doesn't like to be here. This part doesn't want to be here because I can feel that it's a bit thick. Yeah, it constantly wants to jump out of it. But these together, they don't enjoy it. Well, obviously we need to try it. This time we're gonna make it a little bit simpler because we don't need suspension. We just need to see what happens to this. Oh, really? Of course, it's half a stud. Now you are half a stud away. Let's put these wider apart. Yeah, now you're fine. So this is better in some respects. Yeah, this would probably work. I don't like it for several reasons, but you know, first I need to see if any of these of the combination of this actually works before I even commit to that. Because if this doesn't work, yeah. But I like it. I like it, Ben. I like it. Um, yeah. Okay. Now this needs to move half a stud. In which direction? Ah, really? Hmm. Okay, this is closer. Hmm. Yeah, we're gonna make first. We're gonna make Ben's prototype rig because it's gonna give us more room to test here. Some more options, but this isn't what we have here. Isn't entirely garbage. It 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 could have potential. Um, yeah, we're gonna try this as well. First, I'm gonna just put together the rig that Ben designed, because it's gonna allow us more movement, more freedom here with experimenting. But and even even what Ben put together here, we could make this work. Okay, so we have more more freedom here, so that's good. Uh-huh. Okay, so let's try it now with caster. We can't make a lot of caster here because it's getting limiting quite quickly. But we'll see. Okay, this is the best we had so far. I must admit, best we had so far. It's, oh my god, this has potential. This has potential. We have to move this half a stud in this direction, or these half a stud in the other direction. This has potential. Let's forget for a moment that mounting these it's gonna be a bit tricky, but that's irrelevant at the moment. So we want half a stud in this direction. These allowing enough movement, yeah, okay. Half a stud in that direction. Okay, let's forget this one. We need just this and this. Yeah, okay. Come on. I have to figure out this and this. Yeah. This is how we're gonna do this. Okay. I'm just gonna put this on this side just so we don't lose it. Okay. Okay. So what we're looking for is the movement of this shaft. Very slight movement is acceptable because there's no way in hell that we are not gonna get movement here. Oh my god. That's not the final word. But it's, oh, nice. Some in and out sliding. But this is not bad. Not bad. Not bad. We need, the problem here is, of course, that, well, there is no problem actually. No, there is no problem. There is no problem. I'm just thinking too limited, because I was thinking, oh my god, there's not enough movement in this direction, but this could be the outer rim. So this is the inner rim, yeah, this is where we steer like that, and then this is then the outer wheel, so less steering movement for the Ackerman, of course, for the Ackerman fetishists, because then we get you know, then we get some limitations. But thing is that movement in and out here, see where this is moving in and out, that's actually giving it the freedom to do this. And yeah, we have some movement here that's gonna be unavoidable no matter what we do. Now he designed everything, of course. I mean, still, I have a problem with the steering angles here. of course, but the steering angles really are as big as the um, the CV joint allows, basically. Yeah. Okay. So that's interesting. It's not that bad. Yeah. It's not that bad. Of course, we now have to do. We're gonna leave it at this prototype stage for now. We're gonna just add the elevated double wishbone to see how everything here relates. So basically, how the entire thing works. Let's do that. Again, I'm gonna put it like this, so we have a sliding the option to slide it left and right, because we might decide that it's gonna be better in a different position. So we can fine tune everything by sliding this up and down and see what works. And of course, one of those steering arms is probably gonna be replaced with something else in order to allow us to mount a spring. I don't know which one, but you know, one of them. Hmm? Wait. Ah, no. Ah, sorry. It has to be here, of course. Yeah. Otherwise we so here and here, I suppose. Okay. again, we're not interested in suspension movement right now, because we're not gonna move it up and down, just steering. So I can be now comfortable with this, just keeping it like this, doesn't matter. Okay. So we can, since this is the front, we can now increase caster by doing this. And the movement is not much. But I think we should, by increasing caster, I think we need to move this entire thing a little bit to the back. That's not good. Oh, okay. So less. This should be more towards the center, and this should be yeah, 2 studs, I guess. Yeah, studs. Come on. Yeah, this looks a lot better. More realistic as well. This is more like it. Of course, we now need to offer it towards our jig. Okay, I don't like this. See, this is already reaching the limits of the CV joint. So everything goes smoothly here, relatively speaking. And here, yeah, I mean, in both directions we get basically, before any serious binding appears, the CV joint is the problem. But I can see that we need to readjust this again. Yeah. But where? How? Well, going straight, it needs to be a little bit further. Come on. So half a stud. Okay. Okay, that's the maximum movement here reached, and that's the maximum movement here reached. Okay, yeah, this still migrates. It still goes left and right a little bit. So if it's like this, it's fine. Straight, fine. But this creates a tilt. Don't concern yourself about this right now. It's thing is, it makes contact at the most extreme part, but that's also fine, because you see, what you hear here, see, is basically those ridges here making contact with the hub. So no, the caster is not the wrong way. That's front. Yeah, upper arms should be shorter. Um, what if we don't have upper arms at all? I mean, two arms. What if we have something different? What if we have this setup for the upper arm? So just this. Well, the geometry is not really correct because now we are just experimenting. I know what your idea was. I understood it. And you know, this is since this is a multi-link setup, there's so many variables and we can only test one at a time. We can test one at a time. Okay, so we have just one upper A arm now. Yeah, the only problem here is this direction it's fine, but in this direction we have you see it angles a little bit, which is, I guess it's not the end of the world because it's Lego and it has slack. But I would like to minimize this as much as possible because, you know, every time you steer, then it eats away your power. That's the problem. So if you have this binding force here, it eats power. Yeah, now it's in the other direction. Now this is fine. Now the other direction is problematic. So it's just in between. How about stability? Is it stable? Yes. This is kinda okay. I would like this part to be longer though. So if we put a spring in here, we can make this part longer, basically. Where did I put those parts? Here. Aye. So maybe we could put this here in the front and hope that this clears the other one. You know, just to test. So this would be at a greater angle, changing the angles here. Yeah, theoretically. Yeah, theoretically. Still, I would like this to be, you know, as smooth as possible in both directions. Okay, now it cannot steer at all because of this guy. Yeah, because this guy is supposed to move here, but it can't. No. Okay. Okay, we'll make it move. We'll make you move, boy. No, 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 that's intentional. The one start too long is intentional. See? That's intentional. Hmm. Okay. What is limiting the steering here? Hmm. You are. Okay. Let's get rid of you for now. Okay. So many limiting factors. And I hate pins that won't let go. You see, I have now the freedom to adjust this a little bit to see what works and what doesn't. And because this arm is longer, this means that if you draw lines from here, theoretically the pivot should be a little more to the rear, you know, kinda making up for it. I don't know. And I'm just experimenting. Our goal, of course, is that the drive shaft needs to be straight, or move as little as possible. And in all these scenarios right now, it's kind of moving. We can increase the caster even more. Okay, what if we move this guy here further to the front and we change things? Since now at the moment it's not determined which direction is front and rear. We can play with it. It's entirely up to the gods. Okay, this is not good. Oh my god, this moves so much. Yeah, you can clearly see how, see how this gets moved. A lot of experimentation. A lot of experimentation is needed here. Yeah. And the steering angles are so atrocious with those ball joints, CV joints. It's not even fun. It's not even fun making fun of it. Okay, yeah, these are too close together to provide any meaningful support. Okay. Okay. No. The problem is that this moves. No, but maybe. Okay, maybe if I change this here and move it back where it was. Okay, so it cannot move further than this anyway. So this would be the inner wheel, I guess. The inner wheel, wait, the outer wheel and the inner wheel. Yeah. It still has. It still could potentially move more. Yeah, but oh god, movement here. But this isn't too bad. Isn't too bad. Still atrocious, but yeah, it moves a lot. I don't know. I don't know. I need to sleep over this, and I guess we can have a stream tomorrow. You know, to make up for the lack of stream on, was it on Wednesday? No, on Monday. Yeah. So yeah, I need to sleep over this, think a little bit what we can do or not, and we are gonna have a stream tomorrow afternoon, I guess. So let's say, what would be a good time? 1700 hours CET. I think that would be great. Yeah. And let's continue then. My mind needs to process this and see what we can do. But you know, I said from the start that this is gonna be problematic. But if we get this right, then this is gonna be an awesome car. Yeah, especially for the scale that we're doing. Consider we are doing this at a very small scale, so the challenge is just beginning here. But this is very important. Yeah. So anyway, I'm going to leave you with this for today, and I see you tomorrow at 1700 hours. Thanks for watching, and I hope I see you tomorrow with fresh ideas and maybe a solution.